title of the first video, but I haven't come up with a name yet, so I may muse on that. Someone was suggesting something to do with Alexander, because of course we're kind of trying to build Alexander's empire, at least to start with, you know. Something like, I don't know, Alexander ain't got nothing on Sunni, or something like that, because we're going to go further. And obviously we're Sunni. I don't know. What Alexander? Maybe we could use some kind of Greek word that refers to Alexander's empire. Or the Dodaki. You know, the Dodaki can't reclaim this. I don't know. We'll have some ideas. Turkish Delight is being posted. It's a pretty good idea as well. It's Kandar, isn't it, where Turkish Delight comes from, I think. Okay, so something I forgot to mention in the first episode that I should mention now. I am running a submod for MEIOU and Taxes. Both the submod, the page where its patch notes are described, and oh baby are they long. The patch notes for this subnote are literally, I think, longer than the patch notes for patch 1.30 for the base game. And a link to where you can get this, where you can read the patch notes, where you can download an updated version of the submod. Thank you, Justice Fighter, you god amongst men, who has kept this submod updated. And a link to where you can download the version of MEIOU and Taxes I am playing will all be in a pinned comment on episode 1 of this series. Okay, because just setting descriptions on YouTube is now painful enough that I've decided I am just not going to set descriptions anymore. So, yeah, pinned comment episode 1 if you want to get the submod and you want to play this kind of stuff. I'm also going to do something where maybe every 10 episodes or maybe at every certain critical moments, I'm going to share my save. If you want to play along, that could be kind of fun. Like once I've built like a centralized Ottoman empire, maybe you want to play from there rather than doing it yourself. I will be trying to share the save. Okay. So, where were we? We had just decided that we were going to give some land to the church. And it took us like 10 minutes to explain why. And I say us, because you guys have to take some responsibility as well. So we have a Millet system, which is like a tolerance thing. Where does that come from? He is tolerant. I don't appear to have a Millet system modifier. Maybe that just hasn't popped in yet, but we're obviously not going to take a 5 stability here right now. Make a pilgrimage to Mecca. 10 fanaticism. I honestly don't want to lose my... Well, do I want to lose my morale for a bit? It's only for like 4 months. Sure. Let's do it. Okay, utility decisions. Hide that. We can appoint new favorites at any time, which basically replaces your heir, but costs 40 legitimacy. Our heir is great, so there's no need to do that. They're both conquerors, which is lovely. What else? Do we want to focus something? It's been so long since I played M&T, I can't even remember whether you typically want to focus admin first. You don't get an idea group until level 8, apart from the one you already have. And we start with admin, I mean bureaucracy, which is definitely nice. This is a great idea group to start with. The monthly autonomy change is absolutely godly, as we discussed with the whole way that the equilibriums work in corruption. You know what? I'm gonna make a note for myself. Hey Siri, take a note. Make a video on how equilibriums work in MEIOU and Taxes. That she's created a note that says, make a note. Fucking brilliant. AI is going to take over the world, man. Make a video on it. I can't type. All right, you know what? I'll just remember it. So, because the way that lots of feature systems in MEIOU and Taxes work on equilibriums, and they're really, really cool. So I'm going to make a video on that. Competitive inheritance gives 0.1 corruption. Ouch. 0.1 corruption equals effectively you trend 1.3 corruption higher, I believe we established in the break. Oh, that's right. I wasn't talking about corruption on the video. I was talking about it in between. I apologize. So the way that corruption works is that it trends up based on certain things. It trends down based on certain things. And one of the main reasons that it trends down is having corruption. So when you have 100 corruption, it trends down by -6 yearly because you have 100 corruption. What that means is that if you get 1 corruption, it trends down by 0.06. And if you had one thing making it go up by 0.06 and one thing making it go down by 0.06, I'm gesturing with my hands as if I have face cam on, you would get abate you. It would balance out at 1 corruption. So when you take something which increases your corruption, like centralization, by 0.32 per year, you get effectively a higher corruption floor or equilibrium point, not floor, equilibrium point, that's about 5 points of corruption higher. That's how that works. So if you and the same works with autonomy. There are various things that make autonomy tick up. One of the things that makes it tick down is local autonomy. The maths is different, and we will look into the maths. I believe it's just 1. It's much easier with corruption, with autonomy, because at 100 it ticks down by 1. So it's pretty easy to understand. You just basically have to know that that's how it works, because it's not necessarily intuitive to everybody. So if we get something that ticks us down by 0.1 corruption, autonomy, assuming all of your provinces have some corruption, that's effectively a 10% global autonomy reduction. And remember that because 10% autonomy reduction globally, this is an additive modifier, that's a greater than 10% increase in the land that you control in your empire compared to the land that your states control. So that's a huge difference. It's a great idea group to start with. It is admin, so to answer the simple question that had this complicated explanation, we're going to focus on admin. Now, on money, we've got 0.6 ducats, which is not enough to buy an advisor. So I think we're not going to buy an advisor because we want to buy some more troops. So let's build a force limit. That seems sensible. We're going to use infantry because cavalry are so expensive. It's right, isn't it? Actually, they're not that much more expensive, to be honest. It's about a 50% expense increase. And you get... I don't know, maybe cavalry are worth it, actually. Because look at this, they've got a almost triple shock modifier. And they've got 50% more shock offense. They've got way less shock defense, though. 4 pips versus... so they've got 5 pips in one, 3 pips in the other. And these guys have got 4 pips in one, 4 pips in the other. So they're basically the same on pips, but they have a, 25 to 65... bonus on cavalry shock modifiers. I'm actually tempted to get 1 cavalry. Because cavalry, I think, will put us head and shoulders above most of our competition. The difficulty will be, 3 infantry, 2 cav. Not so good. Not so good at all, because, of course, we could very quickly get the unbalanced modifier once we have more cavalry than infantry, but... We're going to go with that. Do we start with the general? Oh my god, he's great. We're going to enable army drilling. So, army professionalism in MEIOU and taxes. In the vanilla game, it ticks down by a certain amount per year, so you're forced to continuously drill. Personally, I can understand the motive for that. I would rather it only ticked down if you were at 50 or something. We can talk about how this balances. In short, I have removed that tick down. Our army professionalism does not tick down. Right, we eclipsed one of our rivals. Let's rival Karaman, because Karaman is definitely going to be a rival early on. We could also rival oh, wait, we can rival these guys? Yeah, no, rival them, definitely. These guys, we could beat up on them in a humiliation war just to get that power projection cranking. Okay, we could convert people. We don't necessarily need to, though. We're going to get some orthodoxy and decline events. This province is already eligible for orthodoxy and decline events, if you're not familiar. When a province does not border any provinces that are controlled by a nation which shares that province's religion, and there have to be a lot of other conditions set, like it has to not have any separatism and things. You get this event which has a mean time to happen of I don't remember, and causes the amount of your faith to grow and the amount of the majority faith to decrease. Okay. Anything else we need to do? Right, we don't need places of worship because we don't need the advisor costs right now. We're not going to convert because, well, it's so cheap though. I think we will. I think we will. Our religious unity is not great right now. We could do with the extra tolerance to true faith. We could do with the extra stability increase interval. Still haven't set up our estates yet. Corruption is, of course, growing, and we've cancelled rooting out corruption. I will kill that pop-up. Okay. Gain intermediate rival against them. They're, of course, fleeing. They're level 3 forts. We don't want to mess with them right now. Remember, it takes 6 troops to do a level 3 fort. So the Sunni faith, yes, we would like important news. So let's do this. Once you own Constantinople, you get 15 years of boosted true faith and legitimacy. It's pretty nice. When Makkah is down here, I think. It's one of the ones down there. No? Where is Makkah? Makkah. It is down here. I'm not crazy. Right, Mecca is in fact Mecca. Right. And then this one is that whole region, and this one is Al-Qudus, which is the city in Mecca, I think. So if you own those, you get a bunch of urban gravity in them to represent the whole kind of, you know, now we're going to send lots of pilgrims down there. Sounds cool. Our personal tree, mission tree. Let's take a look at it, because it's pretty cool. Obviously, yes. Conquer Incontestable, get some bonuses. Conquer Thrace, which is, if you're not familiar, this duchy here. We got a permanent claim on Bulgaria, Dobrozhia, South Macedonia, and Greece. Nice. If you conquer all of Bulgaria, you get claims on Mauritania, Olatania, and Greece again. That's bizarre. Why would you get a second permanent claim on Greece? Conquer Wallachia, which is how you say this. You get Northern Transylvania, Moldova, and Bessarabia, and this gives us some production efficiency. Now then, Macedonia. So you basically just get claims when you conquer places. Okay, cool. Southern Greece gives you admin. That's interesting. Bosnia gets you some more claims. Croatia gets you Inner Austria. Conquering Austria gets you prestige. But this has to be just Ottomans or non-tributary subjects. So what we'll probably do this. We'll accomplish this mission and this mission via subjects. Tunisia, admin power, military power. And then we also have the colonization missions on the right. So that's cool. And Kaffa, which is this port city here, I think, can get us some cool Black Sea ambition. And if we take the Pontic coast, we can get claims in Crimea. Okay, excellent. Let's pause. Let's let things go here. Once our men have raised up, I might consider going to war down here. It appears these guys have dismissed their only infantry. Ah, but they're training another one. Yes, and a Zap archers. A Zap is a great name for an archer unit. There will be lots of slowdown, of course, while the mod does its little setup. During the first 3 years, we can expect it to run very slowly. Don't panic. All will be fine. What is our autosave interval on, by the way? Let's make it half yearly. You want to marry me? Definitely not, because I'm going to kill all of you pretty soon. Truce with you is... it's going to end sooner than we think. It's only 2 years now. So there's an argument to be made that we don't go to war with anyone. We just save our manpower and go up here. But if we could smash these guys early, you know, grab a couple of extra ports down here, grab a, you know, a salt mine. What's the mine here? An aluminium mine or an alum mine. I don't know if that's the same. I think it is though. Bulgaria now also eclipsed. We're eclipsing like mad. Karaman should be making sure to insult these rivals, get a bit of extra power projection. Nice, nice. They can't, yes. So generally, as I said, I'm not going to usually read out chat, but Eloy's pointing out they can't marry Christo because I'm taken. I am indeed taken. Alright. Troops coming up. Troops raised. I'm glad we did that check on the cavalry because they're actually... Oh, then immediately eclipsed them as well. Nice. Almost up to 50 already. Let's do a... should have done a scornful insult on these guys. Can't now. And there we go. We got our extra 2 diplomats. Have our estates got set up? They have. The estates are back. Oh, MEIOU and Taxes estates. How I have missed you. Make the autosave monthly. I mean, I probably should. I probably should make the autosave monthly because if when it, you know, this game it does crash less than it did by far. Let's take a look at our estates. How privileged are you? Oh. I love it. Burghers only have 3. Is this 3? No, 4. I think that's the... They either have 4 or 5 privileges. I'm not sure. Because this can represent... This is 2, I believe. I think moderate. It goes moderate. It goes low, moderate, large or something. Greater has quite a lot. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Privileges for them. And they hold 14%. Lesser nobles already at 16% authority. And you, of course, have few high courtier noble titles. We've got to get rid of that as soon as possible. And they have moderate local autonomy and low tax exemption. Those are really, really good starting positions on privileges. If you're not familiar, privileges are effectively things that make your estates more powerful. And I need to change up the things that I have on my toolbar now that we're using this. Look at that. Only 2 greater noble provinces. That is really good. Obviously, we want to get Izmit away from them. One way to get that away from them is to demote them. One way would just be to help the burghers in Izmit take control, you know. Empower the middle classes of Izmit. The burghers are definitely not the middle classes. They are still solidly upper class. Do not mistake me. And of course, we have no tribals, it appears. Yes, we have literally no tribals. Okay, cool. We will later. And tribals are kind of broken in how powerful they are. So, right now, forts. We've got 3 forts. They are costing us a total of 1.5 ducats. Forts are half as expensive in MEIOU, Texas, I believe. So, yes, they're half expensive at base. Yeah, the Ottomans, the estates that we have are... It's really, really good to start like this. Compared to the HRE, sorry, the Romans, the Romans have very powerful starting estates, which is pretty crippling for a lot of... It's basically crippling for the whole game if you don't push yourself into negative stability trying to kill them off. So, I believe we will make more money from collecting in our capital. That is my sincere belief. Now, do we want to push from here or here? Well, this one only goes in one way, right? There's only one way out? Yeah, so we will push from down here. We'll push some money up here with you. I suspect having someone collecting will make us more money than having someone doing, you know, the other thing. What's it called? Transferring somewhere else to give us the transfer from trade bonus. But we'll see. The Empire of the Romans have warned Adin. That is cute. So we're earning 3.6. Let's not mess about with the actual maths. We're earning 3.6, whereas if I transfer from here, we'll see what we get next month. Yes, we should definitely spy in Byzantium to get some siege speed once we get into them. And we already have some very nice claims. It would take quite a lot to get another claim here, wouldn't it? Yeah, 90, so we're not going to do that. Oh, okay, this is important. Poland has got their... yes. He will be the heir to the Polish crown. So Poland now has a Hungarian d'Anjou guy going on their throne. As Sunnis in MEIOU taxes, we can't get personal unions. Is that correct? I think that is correct. So there's no point going like, you know, who will marry me? You know what? A Mamluk marriage, they would take an alliance. But they won't, of course, because they've reached their alliance limit. A Mamluk marriage seems like a very good idea. Just to prevent them from attacking us. So I'm going to marry them and then improve relations with them. Obviously, in the long run, we're going to smash the Mamluks. But having a friendly caliphate to our south is something that we want. I'm drilling already, by the way, because I want to get our army professionalism cranked as soon as possible. Drilling is just staggeringly easier in the early game. So, we will see. Right, yes, I should probably put my fleet to sea, huh? We earned, yes, substantially less when we collect from trade, so we'll bring that guy back from the Black Sea. We do not have any trade ships, and we have 7 transport ships. Why do I have 7 transport ships? This seems foolish, so let's sell them. Is that all of them split? Nearly. There we go. Okay, let's go sell these transport ships. Hello, my man. You want to buy a ship? Great ship for you. Step right up. Who wants a transport ship? No? Anyone? You, sir. You could. What is it going to take to get you in this fine transport ship this morning? Celia, one of the last, in fact, surviving Crusader state, I believe. Oh, sorry, the Knights, I guess, kind of. But they're a proper Crusader state, you know. Hiding on an island, does that count? Sailors, no, sailors included. The ships come with sailors. It's a great deal. Just grab it while you can. It's a steal, really. Why are we making so much money? Why am I making 10 ducats a month? Jesus Christ. Okay, our financial situation radically changed after everything was recalculated. We are definitely getting advisors. Trigger the places of worship. That's amazing. A lot of that is obviously the 3 coming in from trade, but wow, 7 ducats from production. I mean, we do start with this silk and this linen production. I'm sorry, I've got something in my eye. Give me a moment. 10 ducats a month. Jesus Christ. That is something. Okay, nice. Now, let's get some advisors. We might be able to afford a level 2 advisor, but I think I might rather get the cash. I wouldn't mind this Inquisitor, to be honest. We could even do some expulsions for some early cash. Also, love this guy, of course. Remember, that's a 0.3%, sorry, that's a 3% autonomy reduction globally if you allow him to do his work. This guy's also wonderful. Let's go a little... you want to get the religious unity up, because the higher your religious unity, the easier it is to keep it higher. Give me the Inquisitor. National unrest -1, tolerance of heretics -1, so even in heretic provinces, they're not less tolerated. Also, says missionary strength +1 and missionary strength plus heretics +1. Wrong. Wrong. Not displayed wrong, but just wrong because of the way the mod works. -1 tolerance of heretics is effectively +1 religious conversion against heretics. Bear in mind, of course, we don't have any heretics. We have heathens. Difference between heretics and heathens, by the way, is heathen, or typically, and this is very, very broad and not probably correct, but if they're in the same kind of religious school or group as you, like Islam in this case, then they're a heretic. If they're in just a completely different, I mean, they're not completely different, you know, many of these guys are still Abrahamic, but if they're in a different religious group to you as far as the game is concerned, they are a heathen. Right, we need to save up some money to hire these guys because he was so expensive. I should have hired him last, but it's going to let us convert at a nice pace. Things, of course, are recalculated, so he's converting much slower than he was originally going to be, but that's fine. A Jewish synagogue. We are definitely probably going to refuse to give permission just to get the fanaticism. 10% chance we get 10% of the population, up to 10% converted to Judaism. I don't know how many actually get converted. Like right now we have 10%. If I do this, is there like a 10% chance we get 1% converted, 10% chance we get 2%, 10% chance we get 3%, etc.? I don't know how that's calculated. We're going to refuse to give permission. We're going to try and be fairly religiously hegemonic. That is the intention. Wow, that's so much money. We are absolutely rolling in it. National unrest is not necessarily what I would like, but that's okay. And for you, we will be grabbing the discipline. For certain. Sounds good. We actually have a rebel faction. That surprises me. Because of these intolerant places. These untolerated places over here. Oh yes, and I haven't actually played MEIOU and Taxes, I don't think, since they got this. We now have all these reforms, and there are... they haven't actually changed the ones after the first 3 levels, I believe. Which is kind of a shame, but I can understand. I mean, there's a lot of work to balance all that stuff. So we currently have military elite. Delegated rulers. I do quite like that, but the autonomy is nasty. I think I'd much rather have this. And which of these do we want? Oh, yes. So it gives you 10 corruption when you get these, which is not actually as big of a problem as it sounds, because our corruption is already going to trend up by 0.4. And remembering our calculations from earlier, 0.4 is about +8 corruption. So we're going to trend to about 15 corruption anyway. So I typically will make these changes where necessary. 10% morale of armies and 10% manpower modifier. 10% regiment costs. Ouch! 5% maximum centralization is nice, of course. I don't really care. National unrest sucks really bad. I don't really care about 10% morale of armies, 10% manpower modifier. Generally, we'll be able to win fights just by being bigger and smarter. I kind of like this tech cost down, though. That saves you approximately 6,000 monarch points across the course of a campaign, if I remember my maths correctly. I made a spreadsheet for it back in the day. Pointed elite, -0.1 autonomy. That's 10% lower autonomy across all provinces, except those that are already at 0, of course. It's pretty damn good. Hereditary elite, 10% stability is pretty good. We're definitely going to go appointed elite. I love wealthy elite. Military elite is the worst, I think. I think it's the worst by far, actually. But wealthy elite... Well, no, maybe hereditary is the worst. 10% stability increase interval is nice, but... I think we're going to go with this. Yeah. How much is a tech in MEIOU and Texas? It's 400 at base. This is saving you 40 points per tech. And how many techs are there? 60? 40, 46, at least 56? Give me a calculator here. Let's say there's 60 techs. I think that's right. And well, okay, you start at tech 5, so we'll say there's 55 techs times 40. Okay, it's only 2. Yeah, so I was right. Well, I was close anyway. It's 6,600 points it saves you across the course of the whole game if you take this reform right now. Max centralization down. It's bad, but it's not as bad. I'm torn. I'm really torn. I think we're going to go with appointed elite. Because I just don't like... I mean, the maximum legitimacy doesn't matter that much. I mean, 6,000 points is a lot. They're additive, these techs. The tech cost reductions. By taking that, we might reduce the need to take Humanist. Humanist saves you a lot of points with the idea cost down. I usually take Humanist anyway, because I like getting the idea cost early. We will still take culture either way. It would kind of be nice to be like this center of, you know, the center of Islamic learning, reigniting the light of the Islamic Golden Age. When did the Islamic Golden Age officially end? Maybe it hasn't ended yet. I think the Mamluks and the Ottomans had a big part in stagnating and ending it, but I can't remember. I can't remember when it officially, like, you know, I say officially, obviously, it's a historical naming fiction in terms of when things technically begin and end, because they're periods, they don't work like that, but I'm going to go with wealthy elite. I like the idea of being this technological superpower. You know, they said that Rome was the light of Western civilization. They were wrong. The light of Western civilization has transferred to the East, and while it may be guttering and flickering at the moment, we will reignite it. We will once again bring... There will be no need for an Italian enlightenment. We will have rediscovered the old Greek texts, already translated into Latin by this period and heavily researched in madrasas all over the East. So we're going to go wealthy elite. Nice. It does lower our centralization to precisely what it was, which is 40 as the cap. It's trending down a little bit because we are corrupt. Yes, once we get a little bit of stability, that will cancel out that trending. Okay, that's one reform decided. Next up, do we want to go roving court? It's another -10 centralization. I think the answer is yes, but not yet. I do like the state maintenance. The state maintenance, remember, doesn't lower the public services and toll losses because they are added as modifiers on the maintenance, not as... You see miscellaneous. You see at the bottom of this tooltip, miscellaneous expenses. It's not added as base cost, so you don't reduce it with your reforms. Not at least you do, but not very much, essentially. And obviously we're going to stay with competitive inheritance, because we don't have a choice. Which gives us a 100% heir chance, which is nice because that lets us disinherit aggressively. It's a really nice reform. The plus 1.6 corruption that this will give us as a base is not good. It's 1.6 more on all our power costs, but we'll survive. So we are going to go roving court, but I'm only going to do it once we've finished bureaucracy ideas, so we can counteract the extra 10 centralization. I think 40 is a nice place to sit right now, basically. I think I don't want to be much higher than 40 in the early game, because we want to get some stability going, we don't want to have too much unrest, and we're going to be able to get autonomy. We're going to be able to crush autonomy, I think. Basically, everywhere should be... You're not trending down. Well, okay, you are greater nobles, but non-greater noble provinces, I mean, look at this. It's barely trending up at 7%. It's so good. And we're going to get minus 0.1 at the end of this. Okay, we unpaused for like 6 months, which is longer than 2 months. I did not lie to you. Thank you for watching the episode, everybody. I will see you in the next one. We know what the estate situation is. We've made some decisions about the shape of our future government. We are going to be a competitive, roving, wealthy elite. Sounds good. Sounds a bit like a kind of Turkic tribe, almost, in fact, when you phrase it like that. I will see you all in the next episode, where, in all likelihood, we will actually get some time going and declare war, possibly in the south, possibly just straight away on the Romans. They have allied themselves to Trebizond. Trebizond may not even be able to get military access over to us, and even if they do, we will crush them in the hills here when they try and siege our fort. Excellent. See you in the next episode. Bye-bye.